What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies gameplay. I'm going to review episode 15 of The Walking Dead Season 3, and that is called The Sorrowful Life. So here we go. Merle and Daryl Dixon. If you haven't seen this episode, do not watch the video. I'm going to be reviewing the whole episode, so let's get right into it. So, opening scene, it starts out with Rick and there's zombies to his left. And I like how with Rick, dead people walking around, biting people's faces off, don't scare him at all. But when he sees his ghost of his former dead wife there, then he gets freaked the hell out and he starts jumping and going insane and going crazy and saying you don't exist and all this shit. So I thought that's funny that zombies and dead people walking around don't scare him, but a ghost does. Anyway, moving along, we have Daryl in this episode talking to Glenn. He's like, "Where's Merle?" Glenn doesn't answer him, and Glenn is all pissed off at Merle. And they're building up here to the end of the episode. You can tell right away this episode is going to be focused on Merle. Before I get into him, I want to talk about some other characters for a minute here. So we also have Herschel and Maggie and Beth sitting at a table, and Herschel is reading a verse out of the Bible or something, and that's exactly when Rick sees his ghost of a wife, Lori, and she's not in a white dress anymore. She is still pregnant, and she's in her normal Walking Dead clothes. So once again, Rick is freaked out, and he actually planned to capture Michonne and take her to the governor. But once he saw Lori, he knew that she wouldn't want him to do that, so he wanted to back out of the plan, and he asked Daryl to play along, he asked Herschel to play along, and then he asked Merle to play along, and this is where shit hits the fan, guys. So basically, Rick goes upstairs to talk to Merle, and Merle is cutting some mattresses open, looking for cocaine and looking for other drugs, and Rick asks him, do you ever wonder why you make the choices that you make? And I thought that, wow, this is a powerful episode. They're really getting into Merle's character in this episode, and I like that interaction with Rick and Merle. And Merle thinks for a while, and he says that Rick doesn't have the balls, basically, to go through with this plan, and Merle knows that he does. So eventually, I'm just gonna summarize, I guess. Eventually, Merle captures Michonne. They go down to the tombs, and then he hits her on the back of the head, knocks her out, and ties her up with wire. And obviously, if you're going to ask a guy like Merle to do something, he's going to do it with or without your consent. So, good job, Rick. You really dropped the ball on that one. Because as soon as Rick wanted to back off and pull out of the plan, Merle had already conducted the plan without them. And so then you see Rick going out of the prison, and he sees Daryl asking where Michonne and Merle are, and Daryl said that Merle was downstairs, and then they go downstairs, and in the scene earlier, I thought this was very interesting. There was a scene with Daryl and Merle downstairs in the laundry room, and Merle was picking up certain items and putting them in a bag, and one thing he picked up was the phone that Rick was contacting all the dead people on. So like Lori and Andrea's sister and all the other people that were in the trailer basically were on the phone, and they were all dead, and they were all contacting Rick. earlier. So I thought that was interesting that that phone made another appearance, and I think I know why Merle picked up the phone. This is my theory, and you guys can comment below, but I believe that Merle picked up the phone because they were foreshadowing that later on in the episode he is going to die, and he eventually does die, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. But I wanted to talk about foreshadowing for a minute. It is something that happens a lot in The Walking Dead. They did it in season 1 with the hospital. Then they went back to the hospital, and they did a lot of foreshadowing with Shane and Rick. So I expect that this is the same thing. When Merle picked up the phone, they had a Greg Nicotero, the director of this episode, who did a phenomenal job on this episode, had a close-up shot of that phone in the bag. They didn't really focus the camera angle on anything else but Merle putting the phone in the bag. So I think they're hinting at something. I honestly think it was Merle's death. Leave your comment below what you think. I would love to hear from you. I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead, and I'd love to talk about it, so I would love to interact with you guys. That would be awesome. And while we're on the topic of the community, thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate that a lot. You have no idea. It really motivates me to make more videos every day, so I want to thank you guys. Back to the commentary now, getting into Merle's death. So basically, Merle and Michonne are on the road, and like I said, Merle captured her earlier by hitting her over the head and then tying her up with wire. And they go to this pub, and Merle, actually wait, no, sorry, let's rewind. Before they go there, sorry, they are walking through the town, and they find a car, and that car doesn't work, so they continue to keep walking, and then they go to, I believe it was a hotel, and they find a car there. Merle goes to hotwire the car, and then all of a sudden he ties Michonne up to a pole with the wire, and because he had her on this sort of leash thing, and he ties her up to the pole, and then these zombies hear the car alarm go off, and this is not good for Michonne or Merle, because Michonne is trapped now, and she's yelling at Merle, and Merle doesn't hear her, and then Michonne pulls off a ninja, an amazing ninja maneuver there. I don't know how she did that, but it was awesome. She took the wire and she choked out the zombie and cut their head off. That was pretty awesome. And then another zombie goes to try and attack her, and she gets saved by Merle. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Merle saves her, and in the car he was getting attacked by zombies as well. But he managed to use his trusty little Merle knife to stab them, and then he pulled out Michonne's sword and chopped the guy's head off. So that was awesome. And then, so after he saves Michonne, they're driving on the road, and then Michonne is trying to convince him that he is a good guy. She's asking him how many guys did he kill before he met the governor while he's on the roof, and he said none. And she said, oh, why would you kill other people for him? And he was really thinking about that, and he eventually lets her go. So I guess what Michonne was doing actually worked, and Merle had kind of a change of heart, and so he lets her go, and then he says, I need to do something, and she just says whatever, and she goes along her merry little way with her katana sword, and then all of a sudden Merle is driving up, and he goes to the pub, and he gets a drink. He's playing some Motorhead, which is it fits him perfectly, and all these zombies are alongside the window, and like I said, these people are not scared of walkers. they actually laugh at them. And I thought a funny scene was when Merle actually held the bottle up to one of the walkers. It looked like the walker was having a drink and stuff. So that was pretty exciting and funny to see. Thank you, Greg Nicotero, for that. And so then Merle takes the car and he blasts the Motorhead music, and then he drives into the governor's secret hideout, and he knows they're all going to be there. So basically, he drives into there. He gets all these zombies to run towards the car, and he jumps out of the car and he goes into this little shack, and he takes his M16 with the ACOG sight, and he aims down the sights, and he picks off some of the governor's friendlies, and I thought that was awesome that he had a plan to infiltrate the governor's base and try and save the prison group. That was what he had in mind. Those were his best interests. So he wanted to save them and keep his brother safe. All he really cared about was his brother. So all the prison group people were Daryl's new family. So if he cared about Daryl, he had to care about the prison group as well. So he sacrificed his life to save the rest of the group, which I thought was an excellent way for Merle to go out. And let's get back to the whole shack scene. So basically, he's shooting the governor's people, and then all of a sudden, Martinez? I think it's Martinez. Martinez discovers him, and then he tries to go for the governor, but he gets Ben instead. So Ben dies, and Ben, I didn't think he was gonna die just like that. I thought maybe something might happen between Tyrese, Ben, and the other member of their group because they were fighting the last episode. But anyway, he dies, and the governor is saved once again, and he didn't get taken out yet. So governor lives another day, and when Martinez takes Merle out of the shack area, they start kicking him and beating him up, and then the governor says, "Leave him to me." The governor throws him in the shack, and then they have a little fight. Merle actually knocks the governor over a couple times, but then unfortunately the governor gets the best of him and bites his fingers off, which I thought was pretty awesome. I mean, that was an awesome scene, and they explained how they did that with the special effects. So if you guys don't watch The Talking Dead, then you need to, because they go behind the scenes a lot, and Merle and the governor were actually on The Talking Dead, so I thought that was awesome. But yeah, so he bites his fingers off, and then Merle says, "I don't have to beg," and then the governor says, "No, you don't," and then the governor shoots him, and it fades to black. So then, coming back from commercial, we have a scene where Rick is staring down his sights, and he sees Michonne. And I thought it's funny that they have Rick on top of the tower, because he sees a lot of things that aren't really there. I wouldn't honestly trust him to be on top of the tower. I'm not saying he's not reliable. It's just that he could see stuff that are not really there, and I would rather have someone like Carl on top of the tower with a sniper rifle. Anyway, let's get on to the final scene now, where Daryl is approaching the governor's camp area, and he sees all these zombies on the ground, and eventually he stumbles upon his brother. He sees that his brother has turned into a walker, and that is just devastating for Daryl to see. And Merle and Daryl no longer rolling together anymore. It's over now, and Merle is dead, and he's turned, and now Daryl has to, unfortunately, kill the walker that once was Merle. And this is really hard for him. At first, he was in denial. He was pushing him, and he didn't want to kill him at all. And Norman Reedus is such an amazing actor. So is Michael Rooker, and this scene was awesome. I almost cried, almost, and I said almost. So yeah, I didn't, but almost. It was that good. Anyway, so yeah. Good job to Greg Nicotero, Norman Reedus, and Michael Rooker for making such a touching scene. Anyway, let's get back to the scene itself. So the close-up of Merle's eyes when he's turned, and then Daryl has to stab him multiple times. I don't know why he did this multiple times. Maybe he was angry. Maybe he was frustrated. You never know. There are so many emotions that were going on with Daryl at the moment. So he eventually stabs him multiple times, and then the episode ends. Overall, I give this episode a 9.5 out of 10. Good job to everyone involved, and thank you for watching the video. I'll see you in the next review. Peace out, guys. See you later. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so 2 videos you may have missed. The one on the top right is Expert Killer Episode 1. I explained how to use certain weapons in certain situations. And the bottom right is Teabag Episode 2. It was a little late, and we have some special guests like Baz Attack, and we have Blind True on there from Endeavor Gaming, so go check that out. And on the top left, there's a subscribe button. Please click that to support my videos. I have 1,000 subscribers. I want to thank you for all the support. I really appreciate it. And below that is my Facebook page. Go check that out. I have so much support on Facebook page. 227 likes so far. Thank you guys so much. And on Twitter too. I got my Twitter to work finally. So please check out my Twitter at Incarnate Films or at Nick Encarnacion. And please follow me on Twitter. I'd really appreciate it, guys. And don't forget to check out the 2 videos on my screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.